If you're not taking these trades from these live 4-hour public swing trading experiments, I don't know what you're doing. 2 weeks ago, we called just 2 trades. We got over 328-ish pips, give or take. Figure on one single standard lot size, that's $3,200 in what takes a couple of minutes. On 10 of those, it's $32,000 on literally like 20 minutes of your time. So it's crazy. I'm super excited. We have a couple more trades to go over tonight. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing started. First of all, for those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Jenny Baker with Six Figure Trading Coach, where I'm showing you that trading is as easy as you make it on yourself. Really, overall, this is all stuff you guys already know, but we have to say for disclaimer purposes, nothing we discuss on this YouTube or in classes is for legal, financial, or investing purposes. Period, across the board. We know the whole market's going crazy. That's not going anywhere. And on the crazy market note, yes, the brokers are still going crazy. MetaQuotes, Forex as a whole, the whole market as a whole is just really all over the place. That unfortunately seems to still be the case with props, Forex, the whole nine. I mean, every spectrum of every side of this industry has been just every day another fire to put out. That's okay. Either way, no matter where that lands, you still have this skill set that will transfer over to your crypto exchanges. It will transfer over to your stock exchanges, to your futures or your options, even, binary options. Like, you have so many decisions and choices to make once you have the skill set. So for those of y'all who don't know, I'm focusing heavily on Plexi trades. That link is in this link tree. They are formerly known as LQD. So please make sure you click on that. If you're not already signed up with them, please do so. I've been with that broker and I have many, many, many partners who are with that broker as well. So that's where I'm going to be at for the most part. That and N1C, and of course every other company I work with is in that link tree. So that's on the disclaimer. That's never the fun stuff. I really should have updated this. I have not yet. But our US 30 copier is going very, very, very well. So I think right now to date, gosh, I don't know, we're up 44% this month or so. And for the month of April, give or take, we had one rough week in the last 2 months, and that's it. Other than that, it's been every single week, nonstop positive. We are kind of mitigating risk a little bit and making sure we're closing prior to big news and all the other good stuff, but it's going very well. That, and of course, just our community as a whole is growing. People are excited and they're contributing and they've got their altcoin drops and like all the things that are happening. So for that, I'm super grateful. If you guys don't already know, please make sure you click the link in the link tree. We have a completely free public membership you guys can go to as well. I'm supposed to say that, so here I am saying that. And while I'm saying that, I may as well also say, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTubes and the TikToks and the Instagrams and all the things that my team is working endlessly behind the scenes putting together so we can build this great community of like-minded, incredible individuals. So that's on that front. Okay, so here's a little spreadsheet. This is what's showing what we have been doing every approximately 2 weeks live on YouTube. The purpose of this was never meant to make a lot of money or to, be this huge, buy a Lamborghini kind of bit of evidence. The purpose of this was to show people that if you follow a singular strategy with reasonable management and you do it consistently, you can have consistent results. Most people, I think, fail at this industry on all sides, meaning crypto, stocks, futures, Forex, options, because they don't do that. They hop from group to group to community to community to strategy to management to prop to broker, always looking back and leaving, a trail of burning bridges behind them, and never actually look within and say, wait, I'm going to pick this strategy, any strategy really that, as long as it's sound and it works, I'm going to stick with it. Here's management that does match that strategy. And here's what I can accomplish in 1 year of my life, right? And I'm not talking Lamborghini money. I'm talking peace of mind money. Well, that's the purpose. And I think we've done a pretty darn good job at showing that so far. We are on week 24, which we started this in May 2023. And every other week that about tracks. Obviously, we're not going to have a big amount of these kind of huge pip count weeks if we're not doing exotics and indices and Dow Jones, but I digress. Take a look. We had a nice string of losses. That's part of any system. Okay, you're not going to get to batches of 70 some odd trades where you don't have these. And if you do, and God forbid, I'd love to see it and love to analyze it and play with it with you. Otherwise, losses and wins fall naturally. Let them fall naturally, and at the end of the day, you will profit naturally. Like, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. As you can see in those 24 weeks, we've only had one net negative pip count week. And your risk, you would net negative regardless across the board. Because if you're risking 1% on all 3 of these trades, this one did not move enough to undo this 2%, right? Anyways, here's where we're at. 2 weeks ago on the 23rd of April, We looked at these two pairs. It is recorded. It is live on YouTube. It is public. Please go back and say, wait, I'm not sure that what she's saying makes any sense. Go back to that call, take a look at those two trades and say, wait, if I had followed this in my paper trading, my demo trading, my prop account, what could that have equaled at what lot size? If people do that, you might be surprised what's possible. Needless to say, that was about 328 pips. The risk to reward ratios on those were amazing and great. So far for public stuff, we've got 18,000 pips. Average realized gain is about a 3.28 to 1. Risk to reward is about a 2.86. This is calculated unrealized, and there's not as many losses, so this number is going to be a little more subjective than this one. This one is kind of like what FX book would use. Other than that, oh, it emits, that's fine, it's fine, just get out of my way. It emits the hidden cell right here. Cool. Either way, not a bad way to be. We're using, this is using realized gain, right? Realized losses, realized wins, period, across the board. I want to show you this of what's possible. I know we spend a lot of time on spreadsheets like this and Monte Carlo stimulations and all the things because I want people to know that this is what it is. Go make $500 a day on your prop firm. That's enough. You don't need to make $5 billion. I mean, that's seriously not bad at all. Take your 90% of that and walk on with your month. It takes you minutes, seconds, less than hours for sure. But that's all we're really doing here. Anyways, 18,000 pips if you risked 1% and averaged approximately around this on a $500 account. This is where you're at in 20 some odd weeks. On a $10,000 account at 1% risk, this is approximately where you're at. That is definitely not a bad way to be. Not bad at all. This is not including things like compounding, increasing your lot sizes. This is not including any of that. So you can 10x that by far. If you are risking 5% per trade, because these are swing trades, you don't need to be carrying a bunch of these positions or doing a bunch of things. You can afford to be, in theory, larger risk percentage per trade. Not that I'm advising it. I'm just saying you have the opportunity to, if you have enough leverage to. 5% equals an approximate 873% growth on a $500 account. That's what you could have made in the last 6 months. Well, that's 1 year. Almost 1 year now, right? Almost 1 year. Figure most of the hedge funds in Wall Street are not getting anywhere near 200% in a year. Warren Buffett and a lot of the big powers, the B and the beta and all the things, all the norms are what? 5%, 10%. The super exceptional companies are 20% in a year. So if you can take the same money that you're currently retiring with and putting in your 401k and maybe hopefully realizing 6% in a year, and that's after not including all the fees, if you can take even a portion of that and learn to trade and invest yourself, could you imagine what that portfolio could look like if you were starting with any real money? That's crazy, right? Anyways, that's enough of that. In our live classes, we're doing awesome. All time, we're at 1,099,000 pips, 99,000. 1,099,000. We have had quite a few perfect weeks. I think that makes one. I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 perfect weeks. This one might be a tough one. I did not do a SOT this morning. I was looking for the buys on some of the USD pairs and they tanked. And that's okay. I'm allowed to be wrong every now and then. And of course, I still think some of the indices have a little bit more to go, but we'll see. Those did close in profit and have been profitable thus far. So we might actually have our first loss. I say this all the time, and I think it's worth saying again and again and again. Let the wins and losses fall wherever they're gonna. Like, there's no sense in stressing or freaking or micromanaging and like losing your composure and becoming dysregulated constantly. Like, we're all human, I get it, but let them fall wherever, because the whole purpose of this is to do something great, is to do something big, and you have the capacity to do that. As you can see, that's definitely not a bad way to be in terms of 2024 particularly. This is where we're at. I need to recalculate that stuff for the all time, but I don't know where else in the world you can make $100,000 in 20 minutes twice a week, which is how often we're doing these classes in our private community. $100,000. That doesn't take a lot of upfront money. It doesn't take a lot of starting capital. It's very, very practical. It's not just a pipe dream, but that's what we have at our fingertips here. So anyways, that's enough of all this. Let's go take a look at the charts. Back to the public 4-hour experience. Yeah, I can go with either. We've got 2 trades on the table, and we're going to review 2. I sincerely think that those reviews are the most valuable thing we do, but that's my opinion. On my own kind of thing. Anyways, here we go again. Let's take a look. I know YouTube's very particular with their music choices and all that in between. But here's where we were. We took a look at AUDCAD back on 423. This is where we took a buy. I took live buys along with this. I took more than one position. I scaled out of a large amount here and took another entry in and around this on a smaller time frame. I got a later entry than this perfect one. I think mine was much later. Needless to say, this has played out perfectly. How many pips did this move? 215, give or take. I mean, depending on your broker, your price point, your entry, etc., etc. Not a bad way to be. This was a perfect trade. As of this morning, this evening, depending on where you're at in the world, I'm definitely looking for a bit of a retracement before I continue this, if and when it wants to continue. So I do want to see a bit of a pullback before we break out to the top side. We really haven't gotten it yet. Needless to say, great trade overall. 215-ish pips in the hatch, and we're done. We're done with that trade. We called that live on YouTube. Not to prove, hey, Jenny's a good trader, or hey, this is the only strategy that works. That is not the goal. The goal is just to say, hey, if you stick to a strategy, there are lots of them. There are a lot of people who use, JGS in, company with, harmonics or what is it? Quarter points, all the things. You can use it with anything, with fair value gaps, order blocks. You can use Ichimoku as a way to re-enter or enter if that helps you see things, even when naked charts maybe might leave you a little confused. Or you can use just literally naked charts if you have a sound, consistent, duplicatable strategy. And that's it. That's all we're done. But second trade that we looked at was NZD USD. This one was a bit more tricky. We were here. We did pop into profit. Remember, the rules are predefined, meaning they're not subjective to, oh, well, she said this, that, and another. We're saying we're always protecting within about one ATR. In this case, it's 18 pips and or 25 to 50 pips, right? This case has a smaller ADR, so it's obviously going to be smaller. Needless to say, we did move about 25-ish pips. We did pull down. We never broke structure. We never came and broke and stayed below that. We drew up this blue box as this target. We drew that way back here. We knew this was going to be a significant area way over here. And we came perfectly into that. Again, as of today, I think we've got a bit of a pullback before we see any kind of continuation. If this is going to continue to buy, I think it will happen only after we come down here to grab some of this liquidity. Overall, this move from where we called it did come, what did we say, 51 pips into profit, 56-ish, 60 into drawdown, and then all the way up into about 120 pips. Not a bad way to be. That's $10 a pip, at $1 pip even. You do that, that's more than a side hustle. I mean, after gas and insurance and all the things, that's probably more than you're going to make driving for Uber, right? And I can't say because I don't live like in an area where it's going to be super awesome to be driving an Uber, but you guys get the point. You can do this, once a week and literally make more than you can in your part-time job if you get this skill set. So that's all. NZD, USD. I'm going to hit O for my handy dandy Swiss Army knife. With all the broker stuff, this tool is the tool that I have been missing the most on some of my VPSs because some of my VPSs have not been communicating very nicely. They don't want to listen, but it's awesome. It does all the things you can possibly think about. As for tonight, we don't have a whole bunch of red folder or major things on the table, and I did click through. I do see naked entries, a couple of really good setups that I would take personally. But the purpose of this is to follow a consistent methodology. So for that reason, I'm not going to stray from that just to look for ideas for YouTube, right? I know in our morning classes, we talked about that sell down, and the exact target it would hit on Bitcoin using, naked price action. Great. We knew that in a month ago. That's awesome. But for this purpose, we're not going to be looking at stuff like that. We're only looking at a singular strategy with intention to show people that with intention, you can make money. So I clicked through quite a bit, and as you can see, there's not a lot of things setting up via this particular strategy today, right? There's just not. The few that are, I either massively disagree with the direction. I'm talking about one of those USD pairs, by the way, and or they've already made a big size of their move, and I don't like being too late to the party, right? This has made a breakout. We've made a lower low. We're retesting now. I'm not taking this. Plus, we haven't had the continuation. So, no, not really a reversal play or a continuation play that I agree with. So, no. And that's kind of the case across the board. I did find two that I like enough to say, hey, wait, this follows the rules of the strategy as the strategy was written. And it's manageable, has great risk to reward. Otherwise, there's not much on the table. So, to start with one, we're going to start with the better one. GBPCHF, as you can see, we broke down. I was actually in this trade not once, but twice, but 3 times in total, I believe. I got wicked out of one, got rebacked, managed in, still maintained structure from where my entry was, and then took an earlier entry in smaller time frame. And then again, when my 1 hour and 4 hour crossed over, I was cool in this. I think this still has some more downward potential, but aside from what I think in my personal bias, that's not what's significant. Does it match the rules? Yes, we've crossed over the 50. Yes, our slow MACD and our fast MACD has crossed over. Yes, we've retested and we've claimed close enough to the 50 to make this a valid trade idea. And of course, we've got our nice handy dandy arrow and we are getting the continuation. So I'm going to zoom in 1 tick. I'm going to get my vertical line in golden color, place it on the candle prior to the one that we're on. Get my vertical line. I'm going to drop it literally where price is at. When I'm done with this call and sending it over to my team, I'm going to be taking this entry. Mine's going to be a couple points or pips off from where yours is, but it'll be pretty close, right? Couple points, and besides, with brokers, they're going to be off anyways. There's no way around that. No way at all. Okay, I'm going to drop it, solidify it so I can't accidentally manipulate. Ultimately, I'm looking for the sell to the downside. First reaction point is going to be here. I want to see how we handle this spot. Beyond that, I'd like to see us break this level. Because we came down, we made this spring, came all the way up, cleared out all of that. So either we're going to come into this huge consolidation zone, which I really don't want, or we're going to come and break this low also, which is going to make some amazing, amazing targets. Hold on. Amazing. I can get my crosshairs. So if I hit sell, to show you what that risk reward looks like, first and foremost, you can put your stop loss really tight at this most recent fractal back. That's going to give you, not bad, not the best. So about a 1.3 to 1 risk reward. You can also decide, hey, I would like to give my trade breathing room, and I don't want that. Notice how this first target is not quite 1 to 1, it's 0.5 to 1. Ultimately, I'm looking for price to come all the way down into here if and when this continues. Again, you kind of are averaging about a 1.3 to 1, a little lower than the trades that I typically target. But again, given the amount of different setups that have either moved exponentially or are not setting up just yet, these were the best 2 I could find on the table today. So I am going to be taking this. There is a potential for a pullback after this big move. We've already digested some of it, so be prepared for that. Protect accordingly if you're taking this live, and otherwise, let's see how this plays out. So that's 1. GBPCHF for the sell. Management is up to you. You know how we do it. It's already predefined. Make sure you protect or lock within about 1 ATR or 25 to 50 pips. In this case, 1 ATR is about 20 pips, to give you an idea. Last but not least, let's zoom in. Really, really close. Here's the 50. Here is our 3 moving average. I'm reasonably sure this is the EMA, but I'm going to check myself. It is the EMA. To give you an idea, the simple SMA is a little higher. Depending on your settings in this, one of my systems, of course, has this set up. In general, I do use the EMA. But just so you can see that different view as well. Here's what we've got. Yellow line comes down. We get that first crossover. Nice bearish engulfing candle. We've come up and retested about 30% of that. And again, we get this next candle formation. Doji off the 50. We wick down and already have cleared all that volume. So we might not be getting this in the way we want. Have to call a spade and start with that. We also have a breakthrough of our MACD. Came back down, came all the way down. Second candle down. This was it. This was our first continuation past this point right here. Here. This was our first continuation. So where we're sitting at right now, price-wise, is actually, technically speaking, a better entry than have we taken any of these moves. So from right where we're sitting, candle prior to the one that we're on, I'm looking for a sell right now. Keep that a little closer to price. Drop it. And now over here, I'm going to find those 2 pairs and I'm going to make sure I enter these. What I'll say again is what? Number 1, manage accordingly. You're protecting, locking, scaling, trailing, or making some kind of actionable protective decision in and around 1 ATR or 25 to 50 pips if you're not comfortable with ATR. Cool. That's number 1. Number 2, beyond that, make sure that you have the option to scale back in or take smaller time frame entries in this direction if and when this trade proves to be a long-term swing trade. If it does not, you've got your first couple of targets and then you're out. You're flat. You're done. Doesn't matter. You've got your X percentage of trade of gains on your account and you're done. You don't have to worry about babysit, freak out. You don't have to do any of that stuff. So that's what I do more often than not. And that's what I'm hoping I can help other people learn to do as well. But that's all I've got for tonight. A lot more yapping. It is a beautiful Tuesday, almost summer. I hope you guys all have some incredible plans. I'm going to check the YouTubes actually tomorrow and all the comments and all that good stuff. I know we're going to be doing a drawing for some of the people who like, comment, and subscribe like once a month to see if we can't either build the community, give away, a couple of months of membership or what have you, or access to this. So please make sure you're participating in all those good things. Otherwise, I can't wait to hear about your summer plans, what you're doing to help survive the metapocalypse of 2024, as we're calling it, coined by one of the leaders in our community. Definitely the metapocalypse of 2024. Please do put that in the comments below, and I hope you have a beautiful week or two, and I will see you on the next one.